disrespect.
To show any kind of respect.
They said, don't even give this guy the respect he deserves now that he's dead. 0. You didn't go.
Well, now what happens is, right, I called the son. The son got very close to me, and the kid was like a lost, he was lost without the father.
Yeah.
And I felt really bad because the son was a good kid, ballsy kid, but he was a little like, I don't want to say like a little, wasn't the sharpest guy.
Had some issues, possibly.
Yeah, he was just, but really a good kid, right? So he had the father's old pager. I get the phone number, right? I go meet him. He comes downtown. I meet him, and he's sitting there, he's hysterical crying to me. And I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to hold it because, I really love John, his father. So he goes to the phone to call home. His mother picks up. Guess who's in the house with the mother?
Tell us.
Vic Amuso.
Holy smokes.
Now, the kid doesn't catch this. The kid picks up the phone. Hey, Ma, how are you? Blah, 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 blah. I'm down here I'm down in the city, down here with Frankie. She knew who I was, right? And he hears Vic in the background.
Wow.
And the mother admitted to him or something. Anyway, the kid hangs up. He doesn't think nothing of it. Here's how gullible he was, naive he was. He goes, I just got off the phone with my mother. Everything's okay. He said, you know who's by the house? He says, Vic's by the house.
Uh-oh.
My face drops.
Of course.
Because I know right away, I'm saying, wait a second.
This can't be good.
I said, the treachery. Okay, so you're the boss of the family. You had a personal relationship with Johnny Petrocelli. He came home. You straightened him out. Okay? You had a lot of plans for him. He goes and helps his friend Gus Ferracci, who happened to kill a DEA agent. Okay? Now you find out, you get wind he's harboring him. Raffie Como, the mob rat, told you. That's how you found out.
Right.
You then go get a lot of heat from everybody and go, you got to give this kid up. You give John the order. John doesn't carry through with it. You give the order on him now to kill him. You tell everybody in the family, don't go to the wake. But now you buy his house with his wife.
It's ruthless. Excuse me.
One or two things. I never met Johnny Petrocelli's wife. I heard she was very attractive. So only a couple things cross your mind.
Ain't that the truth? As being a street kid, what crosses your mind?
What crosses your mind? She was that attractive that now you buy the guy's house, not supposed to be there. Or you were that close to him that you pay any respect, which I buy that.
You would hope that's the motive.
But if you were so concerned about respect, why didn't you have the family, the Lucchese family, go to the guy's wake?
Right. And show him that last bit of respect. But he didn't.
So I'm asking you, from an outsider looking in, what do you think it was? What is Vic Amuso, the boss of the family, doing over there?
He had a motive to go there, obviously. And
what was the motive?
Well, I'm a man, so I'm going to think of the bad thing here and tell you that he was there. If you need anything, young lady, I'm right here for you. That's what he went there for. I mean, stuff you see and read about, but people actually live that life and do that.
So now Raffie.
Back to Raffie.
After John gets killed and everything's over with.
Yeah.
Right? Raffie wants to act like the big shot. Not knowing that I know what actually happened,
Yeah, you've put 2 to 2 together here. And
sitting there trying to take credit for it.
That he set it up?
No, that he had it done. Like, he was involved in getting it done.
Right.
You were involved with getting it done. You didn't know I was intimately involved with John. You didn't know that I knew that I was the one going to go kill the guy for him. Gus Ferracci.
You didn't know all that.
You didn't know I got pulled over by the agents when I got out of the Holland Tunnel.
And threatened.
You didn't know about all the things John Petrocelli told me. But what I do know is that you went back, mob rat, and told the boss
Told
of
the
our
boss.
family.
Yeah.
Okay. And you got the guy killed.
That's the bottom line.
Maybe I'm wrong. You think Raffie got him killed?
It sure adds up to that. I mean, the math is the math. It adds up.
Or did John get himself killed?
Well, it's a combination. You got to think.
My thing is if somebody in the family, okay, here's my point now. Let's say Giantonio's the boss, right? Me and you are good friends.
Mhm.
We're posing to be friends, right? Brothers.
Right.
You tell me something in confidence.
I hope.
Why
it's
do
in
I
confidence,
gotta
yeah.
go back and tell the boss?
You should.
Right?
The boss don't need to know certain things.
Right.
Right.
So
It's
if
like
you
not,
told
they don't need to tell the boss
if you
everything.
right, so if you tell me something,
Yeah.
right, you keep between
That's
us.
between us. Yeah.
Now, you go back to the boss and say something, right? You know you could get me killed for it.
You got to know that's the law of the land. If I tell the boss something on you, I just put you in harm's way.
That's why I was always after that with Raffie, no matter how much I loved the guy, no matter how much, there was a lot of good that came from Raffie and everything else. That was one thing after that, after John got killed, I looked at him differently. I'm saying to myself, you know what?
It's not the same guy you
I
thought.
would
he
never
was.
confide in this guy
Yeah.
about anything because he's the type of guy that will go to the boss. What were you trying? Okay, what were you trying to accomplish by going and telling the boss?
There's only one goal in mind.
What is it?
Take that guy out. He's not listening to the boss. He's not listening to anybody. We got all this heat because of this guy. You got to take him out of the picture. That's what he's thinking, right or wrong. I mean,
I think he's trying to score points. Wants to be the
well, he
brownie.
seems like you said he was that guy, with the John Gotti, and he ran over the kid, made sure he made on the picture with John Gotti, but he was that guy. So you're onto something there.
Wants the brownie
It's
points.
interesting, yeah.
Oh, Raffie's a good guy. Raffie told me
We can trust Raffie.
We can
He
trust
does
Raffie.
us. He does us, things that nobody else would do. You still had dealings with this guy after this, after Johnny's
Who?
gone, Raffie. You still got dealings with him. How do you approach this guy now? What's your thought process when you got to go meet with this guy or talk to him?
I never wanted to deal another package with him again. But I know if he would have went back to Vic and said I was dealing junk,
Yeah,
because
what
that's
if
a
he
cardinal rule, right?
Yeah, what if he
You
does?
can't deal junk. Well, Vic and Gas were the biggest drug dealers.
Right.
Okay, so they know,
Yeah.
right? So I probably wouldn't have got killed over it. But Raffie, you wouldn't have told Vic we were dealing junk because you could get yourself killed now.
He'd get in trouble, yeah,
Why'd you go tell him that?
because that didn't come up. That
You had to
wasn't
go.
the problem.
The guy comes and tells you he's harboring murderers most wanted. Go, okay. Why do you have to go out of your way? Went out of his way, I heard.
To have a meeting, because
To
you
have
got
some
to
kind of meeting.
call a meeting.
Look at the information I got. John has them. What are you ratting the guy out for?
It's all bad.
For what? You're gonna get so now what happens is it's gonna be nothing but all. It's gonna be all bad. Nothing good's gonna come out of
nothing
it.
good comes out of this.
Right.
Nothing for anyone really.
When it came down to
Other
it,
than maybe Raffie.
when it came down to it, Prince Street was all about saving your ass. I think about all those guys down there.
Covering each other's ass, but not really. They were covering their own ass.
Yeah. Politicians.
CMA, baby.
Yeah, they were just.
Well, you said that once before that, Raffie was more of that politician guy out there scoring points and doing what he did. So, yeah, his motive was definitely
More
there.
coffee?
Yeah, absolutely.
So now, that's the story of Johnny Petrocelli.
That's a good story. I'm glad we covered that.
There's more details as I keep talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
There's more details and nuances as to, what led up to it, getting the timeline together. But
Right.
those are the main highlights of the events that happened leading up to it. So now after he gets killed, Johnny Petrocelli has his son and all his son's friends lingering out there with no family,
Right.
Meaning that
Nobody
they
to
were once,
answer to.
well, they were once with the Lucchese family, but now that John's gone, where are these kids going?
Yeah.
So I go to Georgie Neck. Georgie Neck's on the lam. Vic and Gas already on the lam. And I says, hey, I want to put all these kids with me. Put them with us. He goes back to Gas, or whoever he had to go back to. Comes back and says, we don't want him. I said, but Johnny Petrocelli's son, this, that, we don't want any of
Don't
them.
want none of them.
None of them. So all went on to different families. The son, I guess, eventually, what I read is the son eventually did stay with us and did get to be a made guy, and the poor kid's doing life now.
Wow.
And the guy, Joe DeFeeti, that I talked about,
yeah.
who was the
Well, that-
acting boss, wound up flipping
That's what.
and testifying against him.
The saga continues.
All right, buddy. Salute. Good to see
Saludo.
you.
See you when I see you type of thing.
See you when I see you.
We get to do this again.